Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Clarkdale's 1928 bank robbery reenactment. Before we begin, I'd like to briefly recognize a former cast member who passed away last year. Donald E. Robertson, 73, of Jerome, passed away on October 17, 2016. He was born on January 4th in Mount Pleasant, Iowa in 1943. He joined the Army Reserves where he worked as a master mechanic and later went on to create the tourist attraction, the Gold King Mine in Jerome. Don loved antique trucks, motors, cars, motorcycles, racing, and had a passion for vintage transportation. Don and one of his antique cars, the one you see parked over there in front of the old market with Gold King Mine on the side, that car and Don were members of this cast for 2 years, and this performance is dedicated to his memory. So welcome you all to the 1928 Clarkdale bank robbery reenactment. This street looks much the same as it did in 1928. Before we start, it's important for you to know it didn't always look like this. If you'd been standing where you are now in the millennia before the coming of the Spaniards, you would likely have seen the comings and goings of Native American people quietly farming corn, beans, and squash along the banks of the Verde River at places like what is now known as Tuzagut. As the Yavapai and Apache people seasonally followed the bounty of the land, all people occasionally visited the mineral outcroppings on the mountainsides above to secure trade goods such as turquoise and malachite, to trade for pottery, shells, and obsidian from throughout the Southwest. If you'd been standing here in the spring of 1583, you might see the glint of the sun off iron helmets of the conquistadors led by Antonio Espejo, who came down into the valley in search of gold, silver, and other riches. He would have passed right near here on his way up the mountain to the mineral deposits long treasured by the native peoples. If you had been standing where you are now in 1826, you might have glanced down toward the river and seen a group of mountain men led by Ewing Young and Kit Carson. These men came down the Rio Gila and up the Rio Salado from the south, trapping beavers along the verdant shores of the Rio San Francisco, or Rio de los Reyes, as the river was known during the Mexican period. If you'd been standing here in 1864 during the American Civil War, you might have seen a troop of men led by Territorial Governor John Goodman reconnoitering the Rio Verde, searching for a suitable site for a capital for the newly established territory of Arizona. If you had been standing where you are now in 1871, you might have looked down onto the headquarters of the Rio Verde Reservation, a land set aside for the use of the Yavapai and Apache people for as long as there was water in the river, the grass was green, and the sky was blue. If you'd been standing here in February of 1875, you might have witnessed the rounding up of the Yavapai and Apache people and their removal to San Carlos. We're happy to have their descendants back in the Verde Valley as our friends and neighbors. The passage of a man named Morris Andrew Ruffner could also be spotted from here. He was a squatter at Peck's Lake who discovered a significant mineral strike, which he called the Eureka and the Wade Hampton, on the shoulders of Cleopatra Hill. The site of these claims would in the next few years become Arizona's fourth largest city, the booming mining town of Jerome. If you'd been standing where you are now in 1889, you might have seen pioneer settler Will Jordan, who had just married Annie Bristow, acquiring this land and farming below us along the river. If you'd been standing here in 1910, you might have seen the agents of fiery redhead William Andrews Clark, owner of the United Verde Copper Company, negotiating with Will Jordan for the acquisition of 1,200 acres that would become the first planned community in America and the site of one of the most up-to-date copper smelters and modern towns in the world. All the buildings you see before you were planned and built together, including the Bank of Arizona.
you have a good day at school yesterday?
Yes.
Oh, did you work on your arithmetic?
Yes.
Oh, how do you like it?
Kind of.
You kind of like it? I don't much care for it. So you have a nice teacher?
Yes.
Good, that makes it easier. So we're gonna go across and get some money out of the bank so we can go to the market later?
Yes.
Okay, good, we'll do that.
So you're standing here in Clarkdale, Arizona on June 21st, 1928.
Great unions may be private estimates of the whole price of stock.
The national economy is booming as the stock market soars on speculative investment. And just a year away from crashing us into the Great Depression. Penicillin has just been discovered. The first television was just sold. Prohibition is the law of the land. Gold is valued at $20.67 per ounce. Bread sells for 10 cents a loaf. Milk is 28 cents per half gallon. The median cost of a new home is $4,250, and the average salary is $1,490 a year. Say, Officer Roberts, did you see those men in that red car go by?
I did see them. They've been around here for a few days now. They're from out of town, probably just passing through. I've got my eyes on them, though.
Well, I hope so. Mighty glad to have you in town, Officer Roberts. So this sets the scene for the first bank robbery in Yellowknife County. The bank held a cash payroll of about $70,000 for all the United Birdie management and smelter workers. The two brothers, Willard Forrester and Earl Nelson, while known by different aliases, had been hanging around the town for over an hour, waiting for bank manager Dave Saunders to arrive. And it's just about that time, about 10:30 in the morning. Earl Nelson had recently escaped from prison in Oklahoma, where he had robbed another bank. History tells us that he buried that money up on Stoneman Lake Road, between here and Flagstaff. So next time you see that Stoneman Lake exit off I-17, remember that Oklahoma money has never been found. But back to our story, and as they say, the rest is history.
Miss Tyler's on duty today. Must be payday. Good morning, Miss Tyler. How are you?
So much like her mother.
Yes, she does, and her mother is quite beautiful. Yes, dear. Of course, dear. Of course. Here you are.
Oh, $1?
Yes, dear. As the good book says, charity is the greatest of virtues.
Thank you.
Hey, Miss
Bless
Tyler.
you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Marston.
Good morning.
Are you ready to have a busy day?
Yes, sir.
You all ready?
Open for business.
All right, as usual. Good job. Daisy's here. She's going to be helping. Any errands you have, just ask her.
Good morning, Daisy.
Hello there, lovely lady.
Good morning. Would you like to make a donation to the Widow's Fund?
Donation? No. I'm here to make a withdrawal.
Ah, what? Ah!
This bank's being robbed. You're kidding. Does it look like I'm kidding? Everybody just do what he says. Do what they say. Hands up. Everybody just do what they say.
You guys, get around that table.
You heard me. Get on that table.
Start writing.
If they're in there, all right. Oh, I see you now.
Keep writing.
Pretend you're writing.
Hey, you don't want to go in there.
What they say?
Samuel, quit drinking your Samuel, I know what I saw. I'm telling you. I think they're robbing it. No, my money's in there. No, you ain't got no money there. Yep, they're in there, all right. Oh, I see them now. Oh. Hey, you don't want to go in there.
Buddy Babcock, moron.
You don't want to go in.
You get in here. Get in here. Get on that table.
You. I tried to tell him. Hey! They got guns? They're making them all act like everything's natural.
Right on, get around that table. Act like you're right. Move it. Go. Do what they say. Do what they say. You. Go over there and open that. Hurry up. Go. Come on, hurry up. Fill those bags. Get the writing. Get the writing. My money, your money. Burn payroll. Come on. Where's the record now? You, get over here by the ball. Where's the money? Where's the money? I know there's $70,000 that's over it. That's pretty payday. It's all the oil. Where's the rest of the money? Quit your talking. Knock it off. Here's the money. I know there's $70,000 in this bank. I'm having pretty payday. I want all of it. That's all the money in the bank. Where is the? Quit your talking. Knock it off. Get me my money. Show you the cash book. Show you the money in the cash book. The balance. See, this is how much is here. That's it? You have it all. That's it? That's all there is. Oh, you got it all in the ball. Move it. Get in the ball. Need it?
What?
Move it.
Us?
Burning time. Get in the ball. Move it. Listen, girl. In the ball. Move all of it. Move it.
Please, do not lock us in the vault. Please, do not lock us in the vault. None of us can live here more than 30 minutes.
Shut up. Get in the ball.
Please, men, this many people in this small space cannot live. Just close and lock the grating, leave the vault door open. If you close that door, if you lock us in here, it will mean murder. And you have enough to answer to without adding murder to it.
Get in the ball.
Okay, just close and lock the grating, leave the vault door open.
That's okay, baby. We just have to be quiet and do what they say, okay?
Don't mess with me.
The bank manager has all the
I'm
dollars.
so
We're not giving you.
I'm so afraid.
Yeah, that's good.
It will keep us in here. We promise to be quiet for at least 5 minutes.
Do not
Not
move
to
or I'll
worry.
come back in here. I'll kill each and every one of you.
Fine.
It'll be okay. Just do what they say. They won't hurt us. If they were going to hurt us, they would have probably already done so.
Oh, God.
Just stay right here. Nobody robs my bank.
Back the rob!
Okay. Is he okay? Is he okay?
We think so.
Hey, look at that. Bullet hit my watch.
Oh, that watch saved our lives. That bullet hit you, hit your watch, and then ricocheted and hit me in the chest. You saved both of our. It saved both of our lives.
Don't that beat all?
Oh, man. Oh. Oh.
Guys, dead. Kill my brother. Hold on to this guy. Hold on to him. Go. Hey, Walt, you mind taking those up to the bank manager?
Oh, golly, Uncle Jim, that'd be swell.
Monkey fellas. You killed my brother. Now, just hold on, hold on. You didn't have to kill him. Your fault. Run out. We'll get to prison before I'll do it again. Okay, hold on. Killed my brother. I can't believe this happened, man. You killed my brother. You're a liar. You're
password.
Thank you, just
very
doing my
much.
job.
Thank you
Can't
very
talk
much.
now. Gotta get this guy to jail.
Yeah, hold on just a second.
Yeah.
Nobody robs my
Yeah.
bank and gets away.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Keep a
Get
gun
him out of
under
here.
your pillow, pal.
By the way, the pocket watch that stopped the bullet and actually saved the life of a bystander, the pocket watch and the pistols used by Jim Roberts and David Saunders are on display inside the 4-8 Wine Works, which today is the bank. And the audience is welcome to go in and take a look. It sure did. Also, the actual bank teller windows are still available to see. That's our story. An item of note, the bank was open 20 minutes after the robbery.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks for coming out.
So we're here, return 2 o'clock. Get ready, right? Good job, Jack. Thank you. See you in a minute. Random.
Good job.
Well, I wouldn't be much help because my hand shakes like a dog shaking peach pits.
Really? That's pretty heavy shaking.
Well, I'm getting a little bit old.
Nah.
Jackass chewing on barbed wire.
What is your profession, gentlemen?
We're professional bank robbers.
Oh, dear.
I haven't worked so long, I don't remember what I did.
Well, what he did it well.